being the fastest quarterback you've never seen. I'll be right back. There's no quicker way to get into DFS. Play Super Draft today and see for yourself.
We're behind. They're all fired up. What we got to do? First place, our defense has got to go out there and take the ball. Then when we get the ball, we got to have 11 people that's going to do their job and try to score every time you get the football. If we do that, we'll be all right. That will be all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want that, tonight is the night you're going to go get it. It's going to be smoky up in here. Jimbo Fisher, what are you thinking? What are you thinking, Jimbo? Well, right now, we knew you cheated in Florida State. We know you was cheating at Texas A&M. We know this. Now you get caught. You get caught, and now you got to pay the piper. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bama Smoke on CTS Sports Room from Talking College Football with Jonathan Lewis. One and only Jonathan Lewis. Jonathan, how you doing today?
Another day, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I did say your YouTube channel, right?
I think so. College football with Jonathan Lewis.
It's Talking College Football.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You type it in, you'll find it.
No, it don't matter because you're watching CTS Sports Room right now. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, we're going ahead and we got a special interview. One of the great fullbacks of all time from the University of Alabama, national champion, Jonathan. Shut up. Don't even say anything. Okay. We go ahead and admit it. Listen, 100 years of football from the University of Alabama. I don't remember every player, okay? Sometimes you forget a little bit. Sometimes some people don't know who Jay Barker is, okay? There's a very good friend of mine right now. Legitimate story. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm not going to say that his name starts with Sting. I'm going to tell you that he didn't know who John Hannon was. John Hannon, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Sports Illustrated. Didn't know New England Patriots. Didn't know who John Hannon was. Sometimes, okay? I'm sorry. But anyway, we got a big story. Jimbo Fisher, you getting called out. We're going to go ahead and start the show right now with a pre-recorded interview with the one and only from Tower 100, the Martin Houston Show, national champion Martin Houston. Ladies and gentlemen, this is videotape. We just had a conversation. Obviously, I was trying to get some backup information from Martin Houston, and I'm not as knowledgeable about Alabama football as I thought I was. Martin Houston, it let me know that I was a dumbass, and I was going to continue to be a dumbass. I was like, so you're a running back? He was like, yeah, don't you know who I am? Yeah. Anyway, so Martin's here to tell us more about what just happened 3-4 hours ago. Jimbo Fisher went on a rant. If you don't remember what just happened or what we just talked about, because you're watching this taped. However, we're live now, but this is taped. And as you know, last month, Alabama head coach Nick Saban suggested that Texas A&M was using NIL money to kind of persuade players to come play for Texas A&M. However, Jimbo Fisher got sand in his vagina and he went on a rant and he started crying and everything like that. And now the truth is out. We saw it on film. They're using NIL money to get players, and we got Martin Houston from the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. Of course, he is a national champion for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Houston. Martin, what did you hear about this story so far?
Well, first of all, I want to make sure that if anybody happened to be listening that attends my church as a pastor, I didn't use the exact words that he used, but I may have thought it. But no, I'm just kidding. Hey, this is great to have be on with you guys.
Stop right there. While we was doing the backups, I was getting background. He failed to tell me he was a pastor. I just want to put that out there too. Just gonna put that out there. Anyway, back to the interview.
And have an opportunity just to talk a minute or a second with you about Alabama and about college football. And the Jimbo Fisher, listen, in Texas, there's an old saying that I heard a guy from Texas say, hit dog, always holler. If you throw a rock out into a pack of dogs, the one that comes out running and barking and howling, that's the one you hit. You don't even have to ask which one you hit. And when Nick Saban took a moment, Joey and Jonathan, and talked about Texas, he was talking about NIL in general, and then he said, we need to get on the same page. There needs to be something done. And he said, for instance, Texas A&M balked, and he hesitated. And then he said, every recruit, and he hesitated. And then he said, with NIL, just so you could hear A&M bought every player, right? But he was telling the truth. He said it strategically. He got what he wanted. They talked about it at the SEC media day, but he got more than he expected, I believe, because Jimbo Fisher jumps out and barks and howls, and we didn't do that. And just ask any coach, he's the one that cheat. Well, Jimbo, I'm asking you, you coached for him, so did you cheat when you was with him? But either way, to that point of today's story, guys, it's crazy to think that people don't realize that you're going to get caught on video somewhere, somehow, especially when you're dealing with 17 and 18 and 16-year-old kids and all of that. They're always got their phone recording. So, as you know, one of the staffers at A&M busted saying what? Exactly what Nick Saban said, that they are buying players at Texas A&M. So, Nick Saban, once again, the GOAT, vindicated, not just because he was right, but vindicated because they were busted out at Texas A&M.
So I got a question for you. With that being said, do you see a possibility of a rule coming very soon to where essentially, like, let's say the head coach says, look, if you got a cell phone, you need to put it in a tray somewhere where we can monitor this thing and no more recording? Because the Nick Saban thing, the Jimbo thing, and now the Jimbo staffer, and even Lane Kiffin, they've all been caught with cell phones saying stuff supposedly they weren't supposed to be saying. So you think this? I think this could be a real possibility.
You talking about from the league standpoint or from?
Yeah, like just from let's just say individual institutions. So that, let's say Alabama says, look, if we got recruits on campus and staffers are with them, we need to put cell phones away. This stuff can't be around anymore. Because it seems like this is becoming more and more of a trend on social media, catching people saying and doing things they shouldn't be doing, plain and simple.
I don't see how they could police it enough to enforce it. I mean, I think they may ask for it from a gentleman's rule, but see how they can police it well enough to enforce it. But yeah, like you said, you better be consistent and be okay with whatever you do, because the cameras are everywhere. Even when you think they're not, they're everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy when you go back and think about the events. And actually, I got a second question for you. What did you think about Jimbo when he did say that, NIL had nothing to do with the recruiting class? Like, what was your first thought that crossed your mind? Like me personally, I thought, well, we can't be so naive to think that, NIL had nothing to do with the recruiting class. But what was your take on it?
Well, when you get 7 5-stars in one class and you've got a grand total less than that in your entire coaching career from 2 different universities, and NIL just came out, of course it has something to do with it. And so when he said that was just ludicrous for him to make that type of statement. Here's the thing. Saban never accused Jimbo of cheating. That's why I don't understand why Jimbo reacted that way. In the state of Texas, because of the way NIL is written, Texas rules said that just overrules the NCAA rule. So he was fine. He's not cheating in the state of Texas if he gives that. He did give an NIL deal. And guess what? It was legal. Saban was just trying to point out we all need to be on the same rule. If we're all going to do that, we're going to do that. If we're not, we're not. But we don't need to have 20 or 50 different rules. And that's why I didn't understand why Jimbo got so upset, because he didn't accuse him of something that was illegal. He didn't say he cheated. He just said he bought with NIL every recruit. And Jimbo said he didn't buy any. And there's been players come out and say it, and now it's on video that they're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it was simple as this. All Saban really said is they exploited a loophole that was legal.
Yes, that's
all it was.
Yep. And he reacted, and now he made himself look bad. And guys, my biggest question is this: Jimbo coached with him as long as anybody has coached with him, and he kept hollering, "Just ask any coach that's coached with him how he cheated." Yeah. Well, Jimbo has won one national championship, and that was with Jameis Winston. And we know how he handled that situation. Not a very high character situation. And then the guy who's over the athletic director at Texas A&M is a guy that was over Hugh Freeze. So you put them two together. Did he win coaching with Jimbo's? Not Jimbo, but Bowden's philosophy or Saban's philosophy? It looks like he
Can you hear us?
Did you lose audio? You lost the audio.
Martin, can you hear us? Yeah, we're not going to.
Right, here we go. Back.
All right. It's a good thing that we're not going to edit. Can you hear us now?
I can.
Okay. So real fast, we didn't catch that last part, but we know you're a busy man, so we're going to try to hurry up this up. Do you think Jimbo Fisher owes Nick Saban an apology?
I mean, I don't think Nick Saban cares whether he apologizes or not. I think Jimbo Fisher owes everybody else an apology because, to me, who he owes an apology to is every kid that's played for Nick Saban. Because you remember how he ranted and raved and like, oh my God, he's talking about their families and these kids. This man said that every kid, every recruit, every class, ever since Nick Saban's been coaching, he's been cheating. So who was he talking about? He was talking about all the players that's ever played for Nick Saban. So to me, if he owes anyone an apology, it's all of those coaches that he put a bad light on Kirby and every other coach that's ever coached for Saban and every player that's ever played for him and every recruiting or staffer that's worked for him. So that's who he owes the apology to. Nick Saban really doesn't care. Nick Saban called him out. And he responded. but he responded against all those people. So that's who he owes the apology to.
Well, we always knew Jimbo Fisher was foul, just like Coach Kelly and Coach Kiffin. Most of the SEC coaches are foul. But what was funny to me is he tried to call out Nick Saban's pass. And trust me, and when you're the GOAT of college football, like Michael Jordan is the GOAT of NBA basketball, if you want to call somebody out and look into the past, you will find something in their past. All you had to do was look. But obviously nobody's looking because there's nothing there. My last question is this. Have you been looking at the quarterback position at Alabama? 2023 is going to probably be the biggest quarterback competition probably in the history of Alabama. Who do you think is going to be starting in 2023?
I don't. It's really based on how they run the offense this year. I think that the two guys on campus behind Bryce are really talented football players. I think Jalen Milroe is a superior talent. He is the most athletic guy on the team. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, yeah.
We know.
He happens to play quarterback. And I've heard Saban say if he can just get the passing down, and every time I've heard him talk about him, that's getting better and better. So I believe that it'll be Jalen Milroe's job to lose next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Houston, my favorite fullback of all time.
That's good stuff right there, Joey.
Hey,
Joey.
I admit, listen, I'm 100 years of Alabama football. You know a little. I mean, people say who's your favorite Alabama. Hey, everybody asks me all the time, who's your favorite Alabama football player of all time?
Shut up.
And I say Andrew Zala. Everybody looked at me like, really, Andrew Zala?
Listen, two things. One is I'm gonna make an arrogant statement, then I'm gonna follow it up. But how many fullbacks do you know that had over 1,000 yards rushing in their career at Alabama?
More than Martin Houston.
There we go. All right. Now, with that said, remember I said about being a pastor? I laughed. I said, I guess God felt like the event I have is a worship. We do a community worship service, and that's where I'm getting ready to go. I guess God felt I needed a little humble pie before I went up to preach. So I appreciate you letting God use you that way, Joey.
Oh, my God.
Before you go, will you tell everybody where we can find you on Tile 100?
That's right. Hey, every Monday through Friday, I host the Martin Houston Show on the radio airwaves at Tide 109, and there's an app. But if you like looking at it like this on Facebook, have the Martin Houston fan page, Alabama Tradition, X's and O's Sports, and YouTube at Martin Houston Live and at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. All of those are broadcast locations for the Martin Houston Show, and it's on live from 6 to 7 a.m.
There. And if it makes you feel any better, nobody at my church talks to me no more either. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the greatest fullback in the history of the University of Alabama, former national champion, hosted the Martin Houston Show on Top 100. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Martin Houston.
Roll Tide out there.
In Alabama history, to reach 1,000 yards.
I forgot his name.
I wish I could slap you.
Let's see what's going on in the chat room. We got everybody was talking about me being a guy. I was like, man,
that was me. I started that, by the way.
Oh, did you? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I started it.
Very much. We got Mr. Tellman. There's something. We got. I'm gonna go through all these. Mostly Wayla making fun of me. Why not Bama? What's going on? Why not Bama? Texas A&M is busted. Yeah, pretty much. Bama Reaper. Here we go. Mr. Houston made Alabama offense look good. Now he's trying to make Joey look good. Okay. Okay. Host. No one can do that Reaper. I'm gonna hate you, Jonathan. Let's see.
Hey.
It's pretty much all everybody making fun of me. has hands full with Joey.
Yeah, I started it.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, from Touchdown Alabama Magazine, the host of the Bama Standard, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Justin Rouse. Justin, bring your ass in here. You know what's going on. You heard what happened with Jimbo Fisher. Tell us now, what have you heard? What kind of stuff is going to happen to Jimbo? Is it going to be an investigation? Tell us. I know you Stephen Smith, who's this weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. I know he knows see everything happening through his glasses. Not these glasses, but the glasses he wears. What do you think is going to happen next?
First of all, I have heard of Martin Houston, and before this episode, he was part of probably one of the greatest fullback rooms in Alabama history.
Yeah,
with Kevin Turner, Terrence Lynch, himself. Man, gosh, what a backfield! I mean, and then they're blocking behind horses like Sherman Williams, Derek Lassick, and Chris Anderson. It's amazing. It's
look, we don't want to know. We didn't bring you on here to tell you about the history. You tell everybody about the history of Alabama.
Listen, I'm tired of people interrupting me, so we're going to put him back in the storage room where he belongs. I saw you do this last week, Jonathan, so I'm going to exert the same power, and it feels great.
Oh my gosh. Completely let it get to your head, by the way. Just kick them off every single time. That's what I do.
And to be honest with you, if I left the show right now, I would feel completely satisfied having not talked about anything else but that.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, what's your take on that staff? Dude, that staff for getting caught recording saying that crap? Because look, there's no doubt that you can't hide this. It's on tape.
The thing is that the overreaction, and that's exactly what it was from Jimbo Fisher, was just ridiculous. Because the fact is, yeah, Nick Saban, like you said earlier, was not cheating or accusing anyone of cheating. He's just saying, look, guys, everybody's doing it. Hey, look what it's doing for Texas A&M.
Hey, look, my buddy Barry Pickett.
It is benefiting Texas A&M. Okay. And it's going to benefit everybody else. So there was nothing that was said that isn't happening anywhere else. And for Jimbo Fisher to made himself look like a complete ass by going on the tirade that he did. I mean, everybody's using it. And that's just the way it's going to be. I don't foresee any university outside of maybe the Ivy League not using NIL to bring their players into the fold. Money talks. This is the generation where the players are going to be sold to the highest bidder. I don't know if I should use that phrase, but that's essentially what it is. And we got confirmation of what is happening not only at A&M, but all over the globe.
Miami.
Jaden
Rashada signing $9.5 million through John Ruiz, who tried to deny it at first. And now we're finding out that, well, maybe there's some truth to this stuff, that maybe these recruits are getting paid. And they have been the entire time, and we always knew it.
I mean, comes as no surprise. Now, the amounts they're getting paid is probably ridiculous, but that could be a whole nother can of worms. Absolutely absurd. But this is the wave of the future. This is what life is going to be the rest of the way out, and it's only going to get more chaotic.
Yeah,
it's the wild, wild west. I heard that from somebody, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Y'all going to ignore me during this conversation?
Oh, hey, when did you get here?
Did a goblin say something? Oh, man.
Don't you have to get back to Gringotts to let Harry Potter into his vault?
How y'all gonna make fun of how y'all gonna make my show on my channel? My channel. Y'all gonna make fun of me. Anyway, continue talking. No.
Anyways, and then now I want your thoughts on Cole Adams. Obviously, Cole Adams coming in, getting an Alabama wide receiver room, which is now just beyond fathom of how stacked it is. I mean, just here, Outlaw, I quit me so much. Oh my gosh. So,
wow.
I'm sorry.
Between
This
Joey
is a
and the
serious
chat
show,
room,
y'all. Hey,
it's-
listen, I'm sorry. This is a serious show. We're talking about Jimbo Fisher, but Outlaw just made the funniest fucking comment.
man,
So
between
anyway, give
Alright,
me
sorry,
your
go
take
ahead.
on
between
Cole
Joey and the
Adams.
chat room, man, I can't keep my train of thought going in the
Okay,
right
that was
direction.
I'm
was
sorry, we're
funny.
not politically correct here at the CTS, but that was funny.
All right. So your thoughts on Cole Adams?
Quite frankly, Alabama right now, it's all about speed, and more speed. You know, watching this guy on film, the only negative, if you want to call it a negative, maybe he needs to fine tune his route running a little bit. But the man can flat out fly. You know,
I
he
went to
ran
high
a
school
10
with him.
points. He ran 10.65 in 100 meters. What I also like about him, man, is he attacks the football. He attacks the football at high points. He's not afraid to go after it in traffic either. He's a great blocker. He uses physicality. And, you know, for someone who's 5'10", 175, throwing his body around like that, that's impressive to me. Great core strength, can manage his body pretty well. Just an excellent get for Alabama. I mean, he made some guys look silly in this film, man. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring in this class, and I really hope he enrolls early.
Yeah, I feel like that would benefit him a lot. He's one of those guys, in my opinion, that would probably benefit early, definitely in special teams. Punt return, kick return. I think he can have a chance to definitely get in early to see that, because our wide receiver room is, like you said, you add in this past class with Isaiah Bond, Kendrick Law, and those guys, and it's like basically you have a track team at this point. That's all there is to it. So I don't know if you saw, we got Justin Jefferson, the linebacker, as well. Another guy with speed. I mean, it linebacker
from just down the road from me, actually. I mean,
oh really?
Yeah, Pearl River runs a 4.3 40. You know, I mean, that's a linebacker, guys. He does weigh 215 pounds, but imagine what that's going to be like when he puts on more muscle under the strength conditioning staff at Alabama. Man, he's going to be lethal, man. He's going to grow. He's probably going to get to about 230, 240, and the staff there is going to help him maintain that speed. And I can't wait to see what he's going to add to the defense.
So anything from you, Goblin? What you got?
Yeah, I was reading some of the comments. And pretty much, I got my man Barry Pritchard taking up for me in the chat room, and a guy from high school, William Presley, says I need to stop. And why not Bama? Andrew Bone had an interview and he was so excited. What's your intake on that, Justin?
My intake?
What's your take on it?
Sorry.
Man, he's excited to play for Bama. It's wide receiver U. He's got a great opportunity to come to a factory right now that's producing massive NFL talent, and is, quite frankly, probably the best in the business at wide receiver development. So the guy is seeing, you know, his dreams come true before his eyes, and he sees an NFL future, and it goes through Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, Holloman Wiggins is not getting enough credit.
No, he does not. That man. Ooh, love him.
Hey, back to the chat room. William Presley says I'm an asshole. That is true. Just going to clarify. Go ahead.
You got two of them. One's on your mouth. But anyways. So did you guys see, my question to both you guys, did you guys see where USC and UCLA is petitioning now? They're going to be leaving the Pac-12.
Yeah, I heard about it earlier.
I saw that come across the ESPN notifications, and in my mind, in all of our minds, we knew that eventually it was going to happen, that the Big Ten was going to start absorbing teams like a USC. Geography-wise, doesn't really make a lot of sense as far as the teams playing each other. Now, as far as history between the teams, you got a history between USC playing Penn State and some of the other better-known heavyweights of the Big Ten historically, but UCLA, I just don't. They kind of got that Missouri type feel when going into the Big Ten. It's like that's how I kind of feel about it. But we're way on track to form the super conferences, and this is just the next wave.
Yeah, except UCLA did hang or beat them by what, 30 points last season? Beat USC by 30. So outlaw here, Big Ten and SEC are going to become equivalent of the NFC, AFC of college football. Yeah, the rest will get pushed to a second tier. Yeah, I think that's a real possibility that's happening because you think about the Blue Bloods now that are scooped up in the conferences. The ACC is left with what? What would you consider? Miami, Florida State? I don't know if you can even consider Clemson a Blue Blood. Clearly not. I mean, the Pac-12 is left with what? Oregon? Utah?
Yeah, and
I mean,
and I know there's not any major analysts out there saying this right now, but I even heard a rumor of Arizona State coming to the SEC. To me, that doesn't make sense, but I mean, it could happen. Crazy things, but
yeah, I saw a rumor. Well, I heard a rumor as well that Ohio State was not pleased with USC coming to the Big Ten, and supposedly they were initially wanting to move into the SEC. Of course, that's rumor mill.
yeah,
You never know what you can believe. So,
that's true. That's true.
And let's see here, Malik Benson is the next JUCO wide receiver. Yeah, Malik Benson is he's good as well. I think he was the number 1 JUCO wide receiver. Has he commits what, July? I can't remember the date because he hasn't committed yet.
God, my mind just went blank. But I think it's either the first week of July or the early second week.
Yeah, it's one. I think it's like the 8th or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah. But
comments coming fast.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to make a comment on that.
But in terms of recruiting, man, say what you want about Pete Golding as a defensive.
Speaking of fast, how's your sex life, Jonathan?
Okay, well,
anyway,
what I was saying before we got that little nugget there, saying say what you want about Pete Golding as a defensive coordinator who is definitely in his prove-it year with this defense that may be the best in the Saban era. He's an excellent recruiter. Every time we get on social media, mainly Twitter, we're seeing the elephant emoji. He's posted another one. So, I mean, the guy is the king of the mountain right now when it comes to getting in the recruits. And it's funny, just a few weeks ago, some Alabama fans were starting to worry about, where we were ranked in terms of recruiting. And, man, as long as we have Coach Saban and then have Coach Golding, man, we have nothing to worry about in that category.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are overlooked on this Alabama staff and recruiting. I always bring up Freddie Roach. Holloman Wiggins. Definitely. Holloman Wiggins definitely with the wide receivers. T-Rob, Trace Robinson's already putting in work, getting 2 5-star cornerbacks, leading the way on Jaleel Hurley and then Tony Mitchell. Like, obviously he's doing work. Like you said, Pete Golding's always definitely been in the mix with that. We know one thing about Nick Saban. It seems like if you're coming to be on this staff, you better know how to recruit to some extent.
Oh, without doubt. You wouldn't even be allowed in the door.
All right. So changing the subjects, we was bringing up 2023 quarterback position. Who do you think is going to be the starter, Justin? We got Eli Goldstein. We got Ty Simpson and Monroe. What do you think? What?
The Bernstein. What we reading the Bernstein Bears now?
I said Goldstein.
It's Eli Holstein.
Is it Holstein or Goldstein?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Eli Holstein. A Cliff Notes guide to pronouncing players' names.
All right, shut up and answer the fucking question.
And
who do you think?
And analysts, Paul.
Who do you think is going to start?
Who I think is going to start?
I'm saying Ty Simpson.
Well, if I was pressed to name a star right now, I'd have to go primarily based on experience, and that's Jalen Milroe. Like Martin Houston said in the previous segment that I wasn't invited to, athletically, he has it. He has all the intangibles. He's a super stud. He is a beast in the weight room. He's fine-tuning his craft. If he can get his passing down, man, look out. I have to give the edge right now if I'm forced to make a decision, but Ty Simpson is going to be the guy of the future. I think he's going to be number 2 right now, but it's Jalen's job to lose, essentially.
Jonathan, go ahead.
All right. So here's my take on this. I want to say Jalen Milroe, but here's the problem I have with this. With the current offense we have in place, in my opinion, it doesn't fit Jalen Milroe without his passing being more accurate. It's like you said, Justin, like, he's improving in passing, yes, but your improvement isn't from great to excellent. Your improvement is he was under 50% completion percentage, even in high school at a lot of times, to now you're reaching that 50% range. Now, I battle that with Ty Simpson and the lack of experience in him not being able to read defenses as quick as Jalen has, right? So when you watch the spring game especially, you see that loading thing going on beside his head when we're referring to Ty Simpson, whereas Jalen Milroe has more experience and he does that. So my question, to invert and not answer this one directly, is going to be, could Eli Holstein take it as a true freshman? Because if you really think about it, Eli runs a similar offense right now in high school to what we run now. He fits the mold of which you would want. He has a big arm. He can read defense. He has a very, very high football IQ. So if he catches on fast enough, could he possibly actually position himself to take the starting position? Because we've seen it. We've seen freshman Jalen Hurts take the role. Nick Saban's not against it.
So he's also not against a starter and being in there like Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
And he gets benched in favor of Tua Tagovailoa.
True
freshman. It very well could happen. Yeah, Ty Simpson is extremely green, but chalk that up to age. But I feel like he's a guy who's very smart, who can catch on pretty quickly, and eventually is going to click for him. But you gotta love what Eli is bringing to the table. Like you said, man, he knows his offense. Got a great arm, and if he's clicking on all cylinders, I don't see why we don't think that he can't ascend to the top of the depth chart.
Yeah, I've seen analysts call him. We're talking about analysts on CBS refer to him as, look, this guy, if there's somebody close to looking like Josh Allen, Eli Holstein's that guy. He's that type of playmaker, and that's scary to think about if this guy is just half of what Josh Allen was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of Alabama fans weren't necessarily concerned about Arch Manning, during the entire recruiting process, and no one exactly had their feelings hurt when he decided to choose Texas, which essentially, for me, it was between Texas and Ole Miss as far as where he was going to land. But the writing was already on the wall that he wasn't coming to Alabama. Nick got Ty Simpson, and then he got Eli Holstein, and to me that says, we'll entertain a visit, but ultimately this is not the direction we're going, and we're okay with that, and we feel like we have something better with Eli.
Yeah, he fits. I agree 100%. I feel like he fits our offense better than Arch does. I know it may irritate some people, but in my opinion, when you look at what Eli brings to the table on his film in high school compared to what we have now in place, it just fits better.
All right.
And
if it bothers anyone, my question to the people who are bothered by it, do you truly understand the game?
Yeah.
That's a legit question. Let me ask both of y'all this. At Tennessee.
You're breaking up. You have to re-ask the question, Joey.
The quarterback position, they picked up a new quarterback. Did y'all see him? He's like 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Come on, Nico?
I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, no, he's been to Tennessee.
What do you think about?
You can't pronounce Feinbaum.
Oh my gosh! No,
it is
basically
because this is what the show is known for.
What's that? Fucking with me? No, you don't want to fuck with me.
All right. So, anyways,
no,
but man,
I'm sorry. I'm reading. You know what my job is? I got to control the fucking show, and y'all sitting there staring at me. Talk shit.
You got to control the show. There's your control.
I was about to go over and do it myself. You beat me to it.
You know what? I think we need to have a little counter of how many times that he gets thrown off air. I think the viewers would love to see that.
Oh, I get it.
We should do like a donation.
But to answer your question, Joe, as far as Tennessee goes,
I had to train both of y'all how to use Wimstream, and then y'all
Wimstream. Is that like Wimp Sanderson?
Yeah,
anyway,
I booted him off again.
In regards to your comment about Tennessee, that's Hendon Hooker's job. And that's it.
Yeah.
And year 2, Hendon Hooker is going to actually do some big things. Would not be surprised at the end of the season that he may be a player of the year candidate.
Yeah.
And Tennessee may be a dark horse in the East.
Yeah, cut them off. Yeah, no doubt. In my opinion, look,
Power to, but I choose not.
the Tennessee is number one going underneath the radar in recruiting. That's the first thing. I don't think anybody's paying attention to that. Number two, the wide receivers they're getting at Tennessee is not 3 stars. It hasn't been the Butch Davis, those days, right? You're starting to see a slow transition of Josh Heupel kind of going underneath the radar behind everybody while Georgia gets the attention, while all the Texas, and you're seeing these 4 stars consistently committing to Tennessee now, especially the wide receiver position, which I'm surprised and I'm paying attention to because knowing what type of quarterback Nico is, which he's big and has a strong arm, and in my opinion, probably the number 1 QB in the class, or at least has the potential to be it. They can do some, like you said, some serious damage in the East. There's no doubt about that.
And it may not be this year, but year 3, they can really make some noise.
If they get that defense together.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, and they have an Alabama guy who's calling the shots up there on the defensive side. Kendall Moorhead.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Joey, what you got?
So,
we'll let you talk now.
All right. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you know what the deal is. Go ahead and tell everybody, Justin, your channel and your show.
It's on OnlyFans. It's under,
I'm the one that told you that.
OnlyFans.
It's under Velvet Thunder 45. You have to have a $9.95 subscription to get it. But once you log on, it's everything you've ever wanted. But in all seriousness,
oh my goodness!
In all seriousness, I'm the host of the Bama Standard podcast. If you're not familiar with it, it's me along with all SEC linebacker Marvin Constant, former Alabama running back Bo Scarborough, senior analyst of Touchdown Alabama Magazine Stephen M. Smith, and comedy legend Steve Brown. We're on TDA's channel every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, giving the latest in Alabama news. But also we have interviews with legends, and our show is, we have all the info you want, all the memories, and all the great things that made those guests great. But more importantly, we're making fun of each other the whole time. It's absolutely awesome. But we have a great time here. Recently, we've had Deron Payne, Ryan Anderson, and next week we're going to have a pretty big show for anybody who has been a fan of Alabama football for a long time, who played for Alabama football, who really understands the program, will definitely appreciate this guest, and that's none other than former coach Terry Jones, a guy that has meant a lot to the program, not just as a strength conditioning coach, but as a mentor, as a father, as a coach, any kind of role. Man, he excelled at it, and he really helped keep this program up and running, even during the down years. Man, he was a pillar of that university, and we're going to be inviting former players to come on and say what they want to say about him, tell stories. So it's going to be a great time. So I definitely encourage everyone to come watch every Tuesday night on TDA. If you want to check out any replays, they're on my channel, the Justin Riley Network. I'm going to be showing the replay of our recent episode with Deron Payne. But that's what we're all about.
Oh, that's cool. Listen, I hope your wife takes a date to your funeral. And with that said, catch him out on the Bama Standard on the TD. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Riley, have a good one. I just wanted to do that. I'm sorry. I love you, Justin. Have a good one, man. What? Finish saying what you got to say. Hurry up.
Man, give the guy control, man.
That's what happens.
It is, and this, I actually think that
we got to close the show. Hurry up, let's go.
Jimbo Fisher was not talking about Nick Saban being a narcissist, but rather Joey.
Oh,
I love you, Justin. Thank you for. Seriously, seriously, on a serious tip before everybody, our guest today, and every time we need Justin, he's always there for us. We love you, man. Thank you for doing the show tonight.
Man, I'm
on
glad
short
to do
notice
it.
too.
I'm glad that temp agency still has my number to allow me to come on.
Temp agency.
You know, your only purpose in life is being an organ donor. Go home. I'll catch you later. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
All right, Jonathan. This was a show for everybody to beat my ass. So I took a good ass whooping tonight.
Yeah,
So
you need it.
hope I enjoy it. Yeah, I know you had a smile on your face. I mean, I got people from high school coming on my fucking show telling me that I was an asshole. I was like, damn.
That's
Like,
good.
I haven't seen this guy in a long time. He's like, oh, I just want to remind everybody he's an asshole. He was an asshole. He's an asshole
Builds
now.
character.
It builds
It builds
it builds
character.
character. All right. Tell everybody where they can find you on your YouTube channel.
College football with Jonathan Lewis. Twitter's at college FB Lewis. All college football, not just Alabama. But yeah, I do a lot of recruiting, heavy into recruiting. So if you like that stuff, make sure to go check it out. He said Joey's beard also doesn't connect.
I saw that. Did you write that?
No, I didn't. But that's Justin.
I think it was probably Justin.
Mine doesn't.
Well,
either.
ladies
I
and
got a weak
gentlemen.
beard.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was the episode of the Bama Smoke. We hope you enjoyed it. Please check us out next week. We should have a guest. I don't know because Stingray's the booker, and I guess he just books anybody. Usually he'll book somebody, and then they cancel, and then we got to call Justin. That's pretty much how it's going these days. So you're probably going to see Justin again. Joe, are you going to work at the – that's Justin right there. I should never gave that fool the password. Okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen – stop it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of today's show. I hope you enjoy it. Jimbo Fisher, we're looking for your comments. I can't wait to hear. I cannot wait to hear what Jimbo Fisher has to say about this. But remember, everybody, win or lose, what doesn't kill you, Auburn fans, disappoints me. Have a good night.